Hi, my name is Chris Shukla. I'm a Vedic astrologer. I'm a Brazilian, and I've been living in India for the last 4 years. I've been studying astrology for quite so long, and I've been doing consultations. So if you get interested in getting some, to get your map reading, to understand what are the karma patterns in your life, why certain things keeps repeatedly happen, and you don't understand, you don't manage them well, or you don't, because first you have to understand something to overcome it, right? So in case you want to use the Vedic astrology as a tool of understanding your life and how you can manage and improve better, Vedic astrology is a good solution. So you just I will add some links and they can get in contact with me and we can have a consultation. So this is my English first video. In general, I just do my Brazilian, my Portuguese astrology videos, Vedic astrology videos. So I decided to give a shot. Although I have been speaking English for quite so long, probably this is not my mother tongue, so have, I might make some mistakes. So bear with me, please. Okay. So today I came to talk about the upcoming eclipse that is gonna happen in different times all over the world because it depends on where you live. But as we are making this video in English, I'm considering USA. So if you live USA or somewhere nearby, it's on the 16th of February. The first one, which is solar eclipse in the sign of Aquarius and Dhanista Nakshatra. And the second one, eclipses, they always come in pairs. So the second one will be on 2nd of March, which will be a lunar eclipse. So whenever we think about the eclipses, certain keywords should come to our mind. So eclipse is all about something which deals with transformation, deals with karma that can be accelerated or karma that can be opened, and karma can burn faster, and it brings chaos, disorganization, bring hidden issues. So some things that were not maybe activated in your life or your map, and then they start being activated, and these hidden issues emerge, and some karma can also be burned. So it's a kind of not easy time for us. And honestly telling you, I as we are getting closer to the eclipses, I can start to feel this energy around, especially when you study Vedic astrology and you start observing the surroundings and the people around you, and you start understanding. Because one of the beautiful things about Vedic astrology that some people say, oh, it's kind of intuition. For sure, a person who works with this kind of spiritual things, spiritual readings, they have to have a good, let's say, spiritual life, a good grounded spiritual life. But most of all, we are dealing with mathematics. So it's like the all position, the planets when you are born, they are positioned in certain places in the sky, and these certain places will give us information on how we are going to live certain areas of your life in a karmic perspective, right? Because we are talking about Vedic astrology, which is we call Vedanga, which is a study that comes from the Vedas, which is this real ancient knowledge from India. So if you maybe you are doing yoga, or Ayurveda, mantra shastra, and obviously Vedic astrology, some way somehow, or you study Upanishads or Vedanta, these all things, they all come together with different perspectives from the same knowledge. Okay, so on this date, on this 16 USA, that we are going to have this eclipse. So the sun and the moon, they will be at a certain position in the sky. Now this is first one will be a solar eclipse, but let me give in parts. But so they will be in a certain position in the sky, and the certain position makes the sun or the moon to be partially or fully covered. So that's why sometimes we don't see the eclipse gets dark or partially dark if you are having the eclipse during the day. So eclipse is dealing with a lot of when you think about an eclipse, and first if you think about sun and moon we consider the most fruitful and the most benefic energies in our map. It's we call them sattva planets, which means that they bring us clarity, they bring us consciousness, they bring us light to our mind and overall thinking. So when they are afflicted in the sky, some way, somehow, we all suffer in this kind of matters. So when we think about eclipse, we think about transformation. We think about karma. Karma can be accelerated. Karma can be activated. Hidden issues can be activated in your map. Karma can burn faster also. Depends on what's going on in your map. And chaos is there. Disorganization is there. And in India, if you happen to know, during the eclipse, the temples are closed. We don't have any temple open during the eclipse. It's a very destabilizing energy, what's happening around. So it's whenever an eclipse is coming, no matter what, it's good to stay grounded and some way, somehow protected, especially if you think about mind, mental health. Should be some way, somehow giving a bit more care. I think in general we should give a bit of more care of our mental health, but on this, especially on this day, I think it should be extra extra care should be there. So this year, this next eclipse, solar eclipse that's going to happen, is going to happen in the sign of Aquarius, which we call Kumbha Rashi in Vedic astrology. If you have seen Aquarius sign in Vedic astrology, we have this woman holding a pot, and in this pot there's water. And one of the things we think about, one of the things that for sure we have to understand what's the meaning of Aquarius. So Aquarius means who is lording, who are the planets who lords Aquarius. So we have in Vedic astrology, we have Saturn and Rahu, and both are very hard energies to deal with for sure. But one of the things that, and also we consider a Rudra energy in this Aquarius. This is the 11th natural house of the zodiac, the natural zodiac. If you count, like first house will be Aries, second house will be Taurus, third zodiac will be Gemini, fourth Cancer, so go on until you reach Aquarius, which will be the 11th natural house, natural sign of the zodiac. It's considered a very hard sign in general. Even we don't think about eclipse, it's considered a very, we tell that it's a hidden agenda inside this zodiac, this Aquarius zodiac. We call it Badak or Badakesh in some way, somehow. So it's not an easy energy to deal with, especially because it's also associated with Saturn and Rahu. So the image is this woman holding this pot inside there is water. And the thing about this water, that it can be some good water like a medicine because it's inside the pot, maybe it's getting fermented, so it's going to be something good out of it, but it also can become something really bad. Think about water that is in a pot or container for quite so long, so it can go really well or can go really bad. So we think about this kind of poison, and poison can have these two aspects. Can be really a medicine, like if you think about snakes, we take the poison out of the snakes and make some medicine, or it can really be a very bad thing as a medicine. So some way, somehow, we are always trying to manage better. We are always trying to understand and work with this poison energy of Aquarius. And Rahu being one of the lords of the sign, we can also think about technology. And if you see now, technologies, think about AI and so many things that this kind of new technology tool is bringing to us. So it's kind of a very hard also energy to deal with. So among this chaos, this transformation, this hidden agenda, this kind of poisonous that is happening, and it can bring up a lot of things. It can open some stuff in your life, because this sign also means getting out of the comfort zone. And so if you need to get out of your comfort zone, you need to let it go old patterns that it might not be working for you anymore. So you have to move on, you have to overcome them. So this is all about what happens in this eclipse. So just by it would be a very challenging energy. But then if you look at the sky on this day, we are going to have 5 planets there happening. So sun and moon is going to be there, because the day before the eclipse, we are going to have what we call Mahashivaratri. We are going to have a new moon, which is happening with sun. Whenever we have a new moon in Vedic astrology, sun and moon are together in the house. So we are having a Mahashivaratri celebration, sun and moon in Aquarius, which is already a very transformative and strong energy. For those who don't know Shiva, Shiva is this one of the tripods of the Hindu, let's say, more important deities. We have the Vishnu, we have Brahma, and we have Shiva. And then a day before, we have this Mahashivaratri. Well, during the night, people perform rituals and mantras for Shiva. So it's going to be very transformative. And right after the Shivaratri comes this eclipse with 5 planets in Aquarius. Sun and moon will be there. Rahu will be there. Venus and Mercury also will be there. So if you just imagine, we have 12 houses in the map, right? From Aries to Pisces, the zodiac signs. So if we imagine that in this 12, whenever you check a person's map, so we just have 9 planets. So you don't have 1 planet for each house. But when you are born, sometimes you have, like, for example, if a person is born at these times, probably they will have 3-4 planets in one house. So just imagine each house is a room. So if you have no planet living there, okay, so not much is going to happen there. Something is going to happen for sure. A room that is empty, there will be the wind coming, the dirt coming, the dust, maybe something falls, maybe the door opens. That's it, not too much. But if you think a room with 1 person living, 2 people living, 3, 4, 5, and then wow, 5 people living, it's a lot of focus, it's a lot of energy, it's a lot of stimulation in one room. So when we think that in this eclipse we are going to have 5 planets living in this Aquarius energy with all that I have already talked about, so all of these stimulating you some way, somehow. For sure, for not every person will be the same. Because, for example, if you have Aquarius as your first house, so this is probably affect you more. It's your first house. First house is very important. If you have the moon lives in Aquarius, wow. So moon is a very important planet for us. If you have, for example, you are in the Mahadasha, or maybe the time that some planets that are ruling your map are there, or you have 1 planet there already in Aquarius, or you have 2 planets in your birth chart in Aquarius. So this is all going to affect you more or less, right? So for some people, it's going to be really hard. For some people, it's going to be okay, or manageable, or more manageable, let's say. And it's also important to acknowledge in which houses is your Aquarius house. So in my case, it's my 7 houses. I have Leo as ascendant. So Aquarius for me is 7 house, and whoa boy, I am already feeling strongly this energy accumulating, not only because I am going through a very hard Saturn period. I'm going for a very important transit of Saturn. And Aquarius, although I don't have planets in that house, I am in a strong Saturn transit, and I can tell my relationship is going through this chaos, organization, and all these kind of things near this eclipse, which is also good to acknowledge the fact, work with it, and especially in my case, as my partner is open to talk about Vedic astrology, so it's easy for us to manage together. So if we imagine we are having these 5 planets, Sun, Moon, Rahu, Venus, and Mercury, the next sign, which will be Pisces, Saturn is there, and the previous sign, which is Capricorn, Mars is there exaltating. So Mars and Saturn are creating what we call Papa Katar Yoga. So they're putting a very strong pressure in the sign of Aquarius, but they are malefic planets, so it makes the situation not better, it makes the situation much worse. So what is helping us in this? Jupiter from Gemini. So when this eclipse is going to happen, Jupiter will be in Gemini. And he is looking at what we call Drishti. He's looking at this Aquarius house, Aquarius sign. And whenever Jupiter, which we call the Guru, one of the most benefic energies in our chart, looking at this house, so we can tell that at least we are gonna have a good protection to go through all of this. So my suggestion to you during this time that is approaching the eclipse, first, it's the worst time to get to decide important things in your life, not to decide what you're gonna eat today or maybe which kind of leggings you're gonna buy tomorrow, but for sure, if you're gonna buy a house, sell a house, start a new job, move or not, divorce or not, or something very important in your life that is really needs a lot of it will really change your life in so many levels, better wait. It's not a good time to make decisions. Why? Because our mental or the energies that are supposed us to give clarity, consciousness, give us light, they will be in so much suffering now. So it's our mind will be in that state. So it's not good to take decisions. So between this eclipse that's coming and even near the eclipse, and between the next one, which will be the lunar eclipse. So between these two eclipses, which I told you they're going to happen on the 16th of February and the 2nd of March, it's good to try to avoid the most you can to take any important decision in your life. During the eclipse time, it's good to protect yourself. So some common instructions that we have or we always like to take care. So it's good to, if you can fast, like, oh, can you not eat during the eclipse? Can you stay just with the water, or can you eat less? So whatever you can go in direction of a certain kind of fast. The best will be not eat, but maybe some people, they need to eat or they need to eat something. We never shower during the eclipse. So before the eclipse starts, right? I will leave in the comments what time we start. Before the eclipse starts, you take a shower. Then what do you do in the eclipse? For sure, some people can stay in the house. Some people can do some spiritual practice, especially during a solar eclipse with a very spiritual energy. So it's good to do mantras. The mantras you already do. I will suggest a mantra here down. Meditation, mantras, spiritual readings, or even if you cannot do, because maybe you're going to be working or doing something else that you cannot stop, so you can at least try to keep yourself more quiet. And after the eclipse, once the eclipse finishes, you can also eat, open the fast, as we say, or it's also good to take a shower. And you prepare your body, do your sadhana, and in the end, you can shower. When eclipse is done, you can shower yourself and done, right? Eclipse is there. One thing it's important to understand that the chaos, or maybe it's organization, and especially being Mars now in exaltating in Capricorn and also getting combust near the eclipse, it's good not to take to be impulsive or to decide to do things in certain impulsiveness, because that will be a hard time. It's not going to be a good time for that. What else we can say? So it's eclipses, they open, right? This hidden agenda that can help you. Eclipse, they have this potential to help you burn karmas, but they also can open hard stuff in your map. And when you are going to start feeling these things during the next 6 months, if you observe yourself. So what can happen? For sure, if the eclipse is happening in the first house, it talks about body, it talks about personality, intelligence. Second house talks about how much or how you can save your money, how you can manage your money. Also talks about speech, talks about family. Third house will talk about courage, braveness, talk about brothers, talk about um, people you might know, like if you don't have brothers, can be the community. Fourth house talks about the mother, talks about your mind, talks about your private space as a house, talk about even about your assets, what you have as houses, how does it work that for you. Fifth house in general talks about kids, but also creativity and fun in your life, among other things. So it's very important to understand where is this house in your map, if there is any planet there, how much important this planet is for you. If it's sun and moon, for sure it's very important. If it's the owner of your first house, we call the ascendant, it's very important for you. Or if there is one planet, two planets, and are these planets ruling your time in your birth chart, like they are Mahadasha or Antardasha now, so they're really working in you right now. So my wish is to you that you can go in peace, or you can really try to grind to make yourself peaceful, and to try to avoid the most you can electronics near this period, or anything that can trigger you in a not good soul health, emotional health. It's good to try to keep yourself more in peace. And also it's important to say that as eclipses, they come in pairs. The next one will be in Leo. So if we have Aquarius, the next one will be in Leo. And we are talking a lot about this body mind energy, right? How you work with this, how you make them work together. And for sure, if you do a good job, or at least you manage yourself, you do a bit of a spiritual sadhana, practice, meditation, disconnect yourself, protect yourself or others. Then I, in general, when during the eclipses, I do japamala, this is a Buddhist kind of rosary that you count 108 beads. So I do for my protection. I do for protection of my two daughters. So I do japamala for them, and also for my husband. So they all can be protected. And I try my best to stay the most I can during doing my mantras during this time. So I wish you a very peaceful and a very, I hope you can understand. And also, I think you can also use this energy of this Aquarius eclipse to see what is really poisoning you right now, what kind of habits, patterns, or things in life that are kind of poisonous, and it's time to let them go. It's time to move to a better place, a better solution. So it's time to move on. It's time to transform them. I think that's the best explanation. So that for sure will be a good time. So if anyone gets interested in having some readings or talk or leave some comments, I will be here the most I can. Dhanyavad.